Really? You gotta be kidding me.
Wait, give me one more second. I need a sip of water.
Okay. Oh, really, really, really? You gotta be kidding me.
All right, so we're starting to get, now that we have the dealer reviews live, they went live yesterday, we're starting to get some of those 1-star reviews. Let's look at a few of them, Dad. This is from Clarence. This is for Grubbs Acura. This is Clarence's experience at Grubbs Acura.
In Grapevine,
Watch out
Texas.
for their fees. Yep. Tried to bought a 2023 Acura MDX. I actually tried to. I walked away from the negotiating process with Grubbs Acura because the sales manager, Tim, would not remove frivolous fees, from the out the door. Was charging $3,500 for CPO activation and $2,500 for dealer prep. Purchased a 2023 MDX Advanced CPO at another dealer with 0 fees.
God. When are dealers going to stop that nonsense? The CPO fee is built into the damn selling price. The reconditioning costs are built into the damn selling price. They are not separate line items when you're buying or selling an automobile. They're just not. I would say, just between you, me, and Clarence, they deserve 0 stars, but I'm sure our system doesn't allow for anything lower than a 1.
Yes, correct. You are correct about that. I see the question, what is CPO certified pre-owned? So this is to get the additional warranty from the manufacturer for certified pre-owned. These are super lucrative for the dealers. CPO vehicles are super lucrative for the dealer. This is incredibly greedy, trying to charge an additional $3,500 and another $2,500. This is prime, really. You got to be kidding me. We have, Dad, from Mitch. He's actually a member of the team here. He's been waiting to leave this review for years. Okay, so congratulations, Mitch, on all the work you did to get dealer reviews built so you can leave this review. Love that for you, man.
Yeah.
Found a decent deal on a used Tacoma, but ran into a lot of suspicious behavior with the sales manager. Ran my credit when they assured me they wouldn't and tried to convince me to not use my credit union. Became too uncomfortable to move through with the deal. Again, we met Mitch, Dad. Mitch joined our team over 2 years ago. We met Mitch because he was one of our community members. Again, we're hiring CarEdge.com/careers. Coming full circle here for him to share this review after building dealer reviews. So congratulations, Mitch. I mean, this is also some of those really got to be kidding me crap here, isn't it?
It's just, I just hope I live long enough that there is a day where this type of behavior is no longer the norm. It's the exception. It's the rarity. That's what I hope for. There's no need to do some of the things that dealers do. Life is so much easier when you're transparent and you just tell the damn truth all the time. There's less to remember than when you lie and you have to remember the lie you told.
Dude, so true. So freaking true.
I just there are dealers out there that get it. There are dealers out there that do it right. There's just not enough of them. And my hope is that while I'm still alive, those dealers become the majority of the dealers instead of the minority of the dealers. That's all I hope for. And through doing what we do and ranting and raving like I do, my hope is that we can make that so. But even if we don't make it so during my lifetime, make it so during yours. Because people deserve better than that. Anytime you're going to spend your money, you deserve better than the way many dealers treat the situation. We deserve to be treated with honesty and transparency. And I used to phrase it this way, that we need to honor the customer's time and desire when they show up at the dealership. They don't have to show up. They don't have to open your door. They don't have to walk into your showroom. And so when they do, you should treat them with the respect that they deserve. You should honor their time. You should make it as pleasant and as transparent of an experience as it can possibly be. And that starts with the dealer principal saying, we're going to be honest, open, and transparent about how we do business. That's where it starts. So it's got to start with the dealer principals. And if a dealer principal is a thief and a con man, well, then his staff is going to be nothing but thieves and con men. But if the dealer principal is an honorable person that wants to do things the right way, well, then he's going to insist upon that his staff is honorable and does the things the right way. So it's not that hard. It's just a decision that has to be made at the highest level of the dealership. How do I want to be remembered? Do I want to be remembered as a really good member of my community, or do I want to be thought of as nothing more than a thief? So it has to start at the dealer principal. I don't know.
All right, so it kind of is in the same vein of the conversation we're having. Let's give some flowers for a moment to General Motors. They're coming out. They got the Trax. They got the Equinox EV. The unfortunate reality with these affordable vehicles is that, and we actually commissioned a study at CarEdge on this for full-size pickup trucks. They never make the entry-level trim option. So we get news today from Chevy. The first Equinox EV to reach dealerships will be priced at $50,000, $49,000. The original target was $30,000. There will be a base model, but now the base model is going to be $35,000. The really you got to be kidding me here is like you give us a sliver of hope and then you take it right away. And we see this to be very clear across most makes and models. The entry-level trim is not being produced. If it is being produced, the base MSRP has gone up. And in most instances, the only option are the highest trim level options because they're the most profitable for the automakers. Really, you got to be kidding me here from Chevy and from GM, Pops.
It is unfortunate that they hype an inexpensive vehicle and then they bring out something other than that. And let's, even if they could have kept the base vehicle below 30, but right now it's below 35. Even if they could have done that, even at below 35, what do you think the percentage of base vehicles would be that they plan to build? 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% maybe? It ain't going to be 30% or 40% or 50%. Okay, so they hype how inexpensive something is, and then they don't build it in numbers that could satisfy the demand that there would be for it. That's a really, you got to be kidding me, because it just continues to piss your customers off.
And the dealer, Pops, and the dealer. Like, look at this from Brian right here. He says Toyota is guilty of this too. Price a vehicle at $29,000, but you can't find a single one that doesn't have 5 add-ons from the port that pushes the price to $34,000. This is what we were talking about with the distributors here in the United States for Toyota, or in the instance of GM and other automakers, they come out at one price point and then the dealers only get their hands on the more expensive options. And then, what's the sick irony in all of this, Dad? Is then because there's so much demand at a sub $30,000 price point, the dealership has 2 of them. What do?
They mark it up because they only have 2, and they have 22 customers that want to buy it. So they mark it up. And that is a function of the manufacturer refusing to produce them in the numbers that would meet demand. Everything is stacked against the consumer.
Yeah, it is, until we vote with our wallets enough, and that's honestly what's happening right now as inventory starts to build back up.
It is once again time to reference the movie Network. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. That's the position that the American car buyers have to take. when it comes to the pricing of these vehicles. We're mad as hell, and we're not going to pay that anymore. We're just not. Okay, you can sit on that stuff. You can choke on that stuff. We don't care. You start building the stuff that we want to buy, that we can afford to buy.
Because what's going to happen is the dealers are going to start putting the pressure back on the OEMs. That's already happening. The OEMs eventually will be looking at the dealers to take more inventory, and they'll just literally give them the bird. They'll say no. So it does have this almost cascading effect when we make decisions. And we talked about this. I'll share the screen really quickly. We talked about this. If you didn't watch our video over on the CarEdge channel, it's I think one of the best videos we've done in a long time. It's this one right here, the karma strikes. Car dealers screwed customers. Now they're paying the price, real numbers. What we talk about in this entire video is floor plan costs and how dealers are now looking at their income statements and they're thinking, holy crap, we got tens of millions of dollars, soon to be quarterly, $100+ million just tied up in interest expense on cars we can't sell. That will have a cascading impact all the way back up to the OEM and will ultimately should revert our market back towards normal, which is, prices that people can actually afford. That being said, go for it.
Yes. No, I was just going to say, I hope that happens.
0% financing plunges after pandemic peak. This is on the homepage of the industry publication. I'm sorry, Paige, but I'm calling you out. The share of all loans financed at 0% hit a new low in the third quarter of 2023 at just 1.1%, down dramatically from a 2020 peak of 24.2%. Now, I'm not an economist. I just heard my dad, communicate that he doesn't work that hard. But Pops, I think you probably could have figured this one out, couldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, why do you think it would drop? Let's see. When interest rates were 2.5%, 3%, and you wanted to buy that rate down to 0, it didn't cost as much as when the rates are 7.5% or 8%, and you have to buy it down to 0. So since the cost of buying it down has gone up so dramatically, ain't nobody buying it down to 0. And to make that a headline like that's some big friggin' news, it's like you've heard me say it. The problem with common sense is, well, it's just not that common. And this is the perfect example. We're going to write that headline that they plunge. Of course it plunged. I mean, come up with a better headline. Come up with a different story. Make the headline say, no crap. There's no 0% interest anymore. I mean, it plunged. Yeah. It plunged. You're damn right it plunged. Yeah. The cost of doing it went up. So yeah, of course it plunged.